Hey everybody, I'm back for another recap review of Bel Air. It's episode 2 of season 1. Keep your head up. All right, we start the episode where the last one left off. A video of Carlton getting his ass beat by his cousin after he pushed him into a pool and he couldn't swim. It's going viral all over the internet. Aunt Viv is upset. What the hell is going on? What's gotten into you two? What's your excuse, Carlton? Drugs? Aunt Viv doesn't know that yet, though. Okay? Either way, Carlton's face looks like it had a little trip. Okay? Had a little boop, boop, boop. And I don't mean Botox. Yeah, he looks bad. He deserved it all. He deserved it all. Uncle Phil was able to get kind of Chad, white boy, another child, his parents not to press charges. They tried to muscle them into putting money into a hedge fund, and then Uncle Phil had to remind them they were having a drug and alcohol fueled party for underage kids on their property. So we should all just let this shit go. Shouldn't we? Chad Connor's dad and mom, okay? Uncle Phil is feeling like this wasn't a good idea letting Will come and stay with them because the fight has gone viral and it is bound to harm his campaign. Aunt Viv has to remind him that everybody signed up for this. This is their campaign, okay? And this is also their family, and they have to do what's right and look out for Will. It almost seems like they owe him something, and I'm not exactly sure what or why, but something's amiss. Something's going on. Child, it was on the cusp of sending Will home. They go in this room, Will crying because the homeboy Trey got shot. He in the hospital, don't know if he gonna make it. Child, Trey gonna make it. Calm the hell down. It was just his shoulder. The next morning, Carlton is still bitching, and Uncle Phil has to let him know he can't bitch out after he started the fight. Period. We're back to this conversation about Hillary and how she should be doing things as it pertains to Aunt Viv's criteria versus how she wants to go about things in her own way and go about this cooking thing from the standpoint of making cooking easy, needing less tools to make excellent meals. She's trying to corner a certain niche market in cooking and food and all of these things. And it's actually really, really smart. But her mom wants her to keep in mind that haute couture is going to want something spectacular and not just some regular, degular schmegula. So Aunt Viv is making Will feel bad about feeling like he did what he had to do, comparing knocking Carlton and his homeboys' asses out to him pulling a gun to save his homeboy. And I just really would like to know what everybody would have wanted him to do watching his homeboy get jumped. Like, was he supposed to just let his homeboy get jumped? Like, I want to know. Like, what was the alternative? Was he supposed to, like, try to fight them so that both of them could get jumped? Were we to believe that they weren't going to kill them and that they weren't going to beat them and so they were bloodied and damn near dead? Like, what am I supposed to think in this moment? Either way, I'm tired of them doing that. Because somebody should have been out there protecting the kids. Y'all know these niggas is out there doing the most, and nobody's protecting the kids. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? The Uncle Phils of the world that actually have the nuts to handle these situations move to Bel Air. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's kind of like, what do you expect him to do in that situation? And then where Carlton and his homeboy, like, Carlton pushed him in a pool and he almost died. The least Carlton could have got was his ass beat. The white boy shouldn't have never stepped up, and he should have got punched in the mouth for saying nigga all of those times on the first episode. So honestly, Aunt Viv can miss me with this bullshit, but I do feel like Will needs to let go of the street cred shit that he had to have in Philly. He needs to let that go because he needs to be smarter around these white people because they will get you put in jail versus black people that may not necessarily call the police, but they'll kill you. So, you know, you just don't win either way. You got to just be a little bit smarter, you know? And I think she was trying to tell him that, which is the right advice to give. But at the same time, like when I think back to the moment when he pulled the gun out the book bag, it was like, what was the other option? And if that option was better, yeah, I don't think so. If his homeboy would have died, he would have blamed himself for the rest of his life. Just saying. And let's not forget the homeboy was the one that actually bought the gun. Then she gives Will the keys to a BMW, and he now has a ride to school that isn't Carlton's tight ass. Will gets to the new school, stops to call Trey and leave a message on his phone, obviously still worried about his friend. He goes into the school and realizes that nobody is in class, okay? So he walks outside in the hallway and then some weird security guy comes walking up, "Hey, you're not supposed to be up here." Well, Will has just went through a trauma with the police, so he runs and ends up running to the stage where Carlton is giving a speech to the junior class. And you can see Carlton's homeboy Chad Connor sitting in the audience with a bruised and purplish black eye, rather upset. And I'm just like, sir, you and your bang yang need to calm the fuck down before you get punched again. Carlton decides to use Will and ask him about his high school in Philly, the public school that didn't have a wellness center. Girl, when I tell you, okay? And he basically says that they should try and find a school, a inner city school in the area to, I guess, give money to instead of a charity towards wildlife halfway across the world. It's not a bad idea, but it does not feel right. The right thing for the wrong reasons, kind of, sort of. Carlton warns Will that he doesn't want shit with him. Look around. These are my people. Oh, wow, Carlton. Just wait on it. Uncle Phil goes on Big Boy's morning show, and it's giving him the opportunity to speak directly to black folk because he's the only black man who's running for district attorney. And as Big Boy says, that gives him a specific set of responsibilities to black people. Is Uncle Phil going to impress the black folk? That is the question. Uncle Phil is being asked questions by callers about how much money he makes, how much his house is worth, and it's all very invasive. And I guess since he's running for district attorney, this is considered okay. But I just kind of felt like, are y'all asking those white people those questions? Are you? Because I feel like y'all probably aren't. And is this feeling like because he's acquired this wealth, he's not supposed to have it, or he has to make apologies for it? And the truth of the matter is, they're not going to elect a poor person to be the district attorney of California or Los Angeles. Like, come on. Will tries to get on the basketball team, but the coach says he saw the video of him beating up Carlton and the white boy. So he isn't interested in having any problems on his team. It's like, boy, the way your team, girl, bye. Anyway, but he tells Will that he wants any player that wants to be a part of a team, so he has to try out. And Will is like, yeah, all right, I'll try out. And when I prove that I'm exactly what you need, then I want my number from Philly. Thank you very much. Will talks to Lisa at school asking why she isn't telling everybody the truth since Carlton is going around lying, saying that he did not purposefully push Will in the pool and that he got out and just started tripping. Not that he almost died and you almost killed your cousin. But she like, listen, I don't want everybody on my ass. They already don't like me. Hillary has a meeting with these whole cuisine people, child. And they tell her they can't believe something so down market turned out to be so good because she basically put a new spin on soul food. She was cooking greens and I saw something fried, child. I don't know, but it looked good. They ate all of it and then told her that in order for her to work with them, she was going to need to tone it down with the spice in the food and the color in her wardrobe. Talking about her family isn't their target audience yet. I said, Hillary, hang it up. Get up, girl, hang it up. Fuck these people. Do you hear me? Fuck these people. Will goes to take a math test, and I assume we meet a white boy we can like. Someone who's happy that Chad Connor got punched in the face. We'll see how this goes. So Chad Connor in front of the whole school tells Will that his uncle, the judge, got him a protection order against Will. Will has to stay 10 feet away from him at school and then 50 outside of school, which is going to be hard since we know Carlton is going to try to bring that white boy to the house. Then on top of that, Carlton is also pissed and is trying to fight Will in front of everybody because Lisa is telling everybody the truth about how he pushed his cousin in the pool because he was jealous. Will says, if I beat your ass, I lose. If I lose, I lose. So you know what? Fuck it. He walks away, and that was very hard for him. Child, that's something I learned early on. When people are trying so hard to get your attention like that, giving them no attention at all hurts their feelings even worse. So after Hillary finishes going through this very racist microaggression moment, her mom comes up to her with little Ashley and is confused as to why she isn't willing to bend over backwards for these white folks. And it's because this is 2022. It's 2021, but same difference. She does not need them to get an audience. She has 75,000 followers. All she has to do is put money behind herself and get into the right rooms. And that means with celebrities, not with bougie white people that want you to tone down your fucking food. She doesn't need to do that. But her mom is convinced that the only way she's going to make it is if she makes some sacrifices. And I feel like the sacrifices are way too big for the state and time in which we are in. It's one thing to ask somebody to tone down their clothing, but to ask them to tone down their actual recipes for your white audience, fuck out of here. There are way too many black networks. There are way too many black cuisines. Like there are way too many like black people into food and the culture of food in order for her to take that type of bullshit agreement when you already have an audience. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Aunt Viv. You're wrong, sister. You're wrong. Will is trying to play ball with Jazz, but he keeps having flashbacks of the night he got arrested. It was definitely a traumatic experience that is not that easy for him to get over. He's obviously upset, so Jazz tells him, look, you ain't got to tell me everything, but you better tell me something. So he tells him about what happened and how he really needs to find a way to shine at the new school, and he always did that through ball, so he has to get on that team. Aunt Viv has a conversation with Will's mom, Vi, about Carlton picking on Will. And she basically doesn't have time for this shit. She is in scrubs at the hospital and she just wants to make sure that her son is safe there, because if she could, she would bring her son back home. But it's obvious that these streets ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. So Will needs to stay in Bel Air at least until Christmas break. Aunt Viv says, Vi, we got this. We can handle this. Let us do this for Will. Fine. And then we see Uncle Phil and Jeffrey chilling out, getting a drink, listening to some Q-Tip. Okay, I can't tell. That's what I think I heard. Okay. But either way, he asks what they're going to do about Will, and Jeffrey is like, give him some real time to acclimate and get used to his new surroundings. The fuck? It's been like 2 days. Jeffrey tells Phil that he's been watching him and he sees how he tries to make the right decisions in his unguarded moments. And so he needs to meet him where he is. I'm like, shout out to motherfucking Jeffrey. Uncle Phil goes to talk to Will on the basketball court, and he tells him that he's having PTSD from what happened with the police, and he says he didn't resist and they still roughed him up, you know. And so Uncle Phil has never been arrested, doesn't really know what it's like, but he's still there to support Will, and they're playing ball. And here comes Carlton, watching from the sidelines like Lorenz Tate in the Rain on Me video, mad as fuck. He gave a "you better believe this shit ain't over" anime head shake before he walked away. Will finally talks to Trey and he tells him that he didn't need to come back and get shot too. I guess that bullet also, passed some sense through his ass. And he says it's just a flesh wound and, he's cool, which helps Will not feel as bad. And so Will is getting ready to go to Bel Air, hopefully, and have a better day at school. Lisa asked Carlton to talk to him at school because she wants him to cut Will a break and stop with the craziness. But she notices the white powdered substance on his nose and asks him what the hell is going on with him. Tells him he needs to get his life together. Leave Connor Chad's ass alone and get some fucking help for this problem he has, because he's sniffing everything white around here. And he had the nerve and the unmitigated gall to tell Lisa that Will is trouble while simultaneously wiping the coke from under his nose. Boy, bye. Child, Hillary got on Instagram and told her fans that Hope cuisine tried to play her like a soybean burger bitch and ask her to tune down the seasoning in her food, which is a recipe from her grandmother. And then on top of that, saying that her very ethnic family doesn't represent their target audience, so they must not, like black folks in general. Okay, go tell them how you feel about it. I say, oh girl, don't send the followers after them. I love it. Will is really taking a liking to Tyler, and Tyler has taken a liking to him. So not all the white people are assholes on this show. Thank God, at least for now, because you always got to be careful that they can be pretending to be your friend so that they can carry you later, okay? So for now, Will is asking him questions about Coach Jay and how to get on the basketball team, and he gives him some pointers, and then he goes to try out for the basketball team. And he was doing well, but he was still falling short in some areas. You can tell he's having a hard time getting back into the swing of things in a positive way and feeling, his body rhythm again. So he takes a beat, he gets back into it, and he actually ends up getting on the team. And shout out to the boy, Tyler, the homeboy Tyler that's on the team that he has that math class with. He seems to really like Will in a genuine way, and he welcomes him along with the rest of the team onto the basketball team. And so after he goes into the little athletics department area, and Carlton is taking an ice bath, and he's like, "What are you doing back here, Will?" And Will is like, "I got on a basketball team." "Oh, really? How did you hustle your way into that?" It's like, oh, wow, my dude. He plays basketball. Will tells him to watch his back because his corny ass is about to lose his crown to the charming kid from Philly. Okay, the poor nigga, as you so eloquently put it. All right? The hood nigga, I'm sorry. And so later on, Will is leaving the school feeling great about himself, and security pulls him to the side because they believe he has something in his book bag. Okay, so the security guy tells him this could be hard, this could be easy, whatever the fuck. He is threatening him with bodily harm. So he gives him the book bag, and there's drugs in the book bag. Everybody's watching as he escorts Will back into the building, and Carlton doesn't know what's going on, but his homeboy, Connor Chad, tells him that he did it. And so at the beginning of the next episode, when the parents are asking him about it, he lies and says that it wasn't Connor, it wasn't him. He wouldn't do something like that. So you gonna let them people lie on your cousin and you not gonna say nothing. You are a sellout in more ways than one, my dude. It is just terrible. It don't matter how you feel about Will. That should not be okay to you. Now I'm looking at Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil like, who the hell did y'all raise? Because y'all seem like good people essentially, and your son seems like a jackass. So I'm just confused. Who raised Carlton? Okay, maybe it was too much of a traumatic experience to have him around all these white people. There were no black schools. This is not the fucking 90s. Okay, anyway, you guys, that's all I have to say about it. I will see you guys in episode 3.